Hey everyone, this is Scott from Forgot to Grow Up. Welcome to our American Gods Season 2, Episode 4 Thoughts video. I just finished watching Episode 4, The Greatest Story Ever Told. In this episode, Shadow and Mr. Wednesday take a secret meeting in St. Louis. Bilquis arrives at the funeral home in Cairo, where she engages in a debate with Mr. Nancy and Mr. Ibis. And Techno Boy pays a visit to his first worshipper. So yes, I just finished watching the latest episode of American Gods, and this was another great episode. They went back to our storytelling device that they had used in the first season with this one, and at first I didn't quite realize what the story was telling, but then we realized after you finish the episode, or once you get through the story of this Asian American family, this father's son, and the son seems to be some kind of prodigy. He seems to be very good at music. I definitely can't play piano like that. But him and his dad seem to have this disconnect, but anyways, it seems to be the story of how Technical Boy came into his latest incarnation. And so that was pretty interesting, especially considering I didn't put it together. Maybe everyone else figured it out. Maybe people who actually read the book already knew, but I like that connection because I missed it at first, because I was just sitting here being like, okay, how's this connected into this episode? And then it ends, you see Technical Boy kind of starting to emerge a little bit, and I wasn't sure if that, like, when you first finished the scene, I'm like, I didn't put together that was his kind of origin in a sense, but then by the end of the episode, we kind of learned that was his first worshiper. That was how he came into what I'm guessing is his most latest incarnation, with these being gods. He did mention in the last episode that he was the Compass Rose, or what, not the last episode, the episode before that he had been the Compass Rose, so it's confusing to me that he would have come into so I'm guessing this is just his latest incarnation of, the god of technology. It's very hard to put it all into words. But yeah, I just really enjoyed getting that little story. I love that storytelling device of them telling a little story at the beginning before we get into the episode. But yeah, that part was interesting. I also really enjoyed the debate between Bilquis and Mr. Nancy and Mr. Ibis. That was just really interesting and a very intense scene, but it was just really interesting to get those different perspectives from these three very, very old gods. Speaking about manners that I shouldn't talk about. But yes, it was just very interesting, and I just love whenever Mr. Nancy goes off and gives a speech. It's just so captivating and kind of charismatic. I'm just like, I just want to hear what he says. I just want to hear him keep talking. It's just so, it's just interesting, and I just enjoyed that. So yeah, another thing we got in this episode was we meet the god of money, or the god money. It's hard to kind of put when you have like words that that's not the right way to put that. Anyways, we meet the god money in this episode with both Mr. World and Mr. Wednesday trying to get money on their side, because obviously you need a little bit of the bank to go to war, and in the end money ends up staying neutral, which kind of makes sense on his count, because, well, why take either side? In the end, they all need to use money. So in a way, it's kind of like, well, he's one of the players that's kind of outside this, squabble between the new and old gods, because no matter what, money's always going to probably be around. Same with a few of these other types of, god entities in this. But yeah, I really enjoyed that was introduced. I also like that that Shadow wasn't allowed to meet him, because Shadow's never had a debit or credit card, and I just like that was a little bit to add in there. I like that they also used penny scouts, as they're referred to in the episode, as like the little in between. They kind of had a little bit of the faiths, like the Greek faiths or the muses. I'm sorry, I always get those two music stuff, or maybe they're both different things. One of those sets of three sisters from Greek mythology. Again, had a feel of that for a second. Then I was like, oh yeah, this somehow connected with money. But yeah, that was just really interesting. That Shadow couldn't meet him because of that. And then at the end of this episode, we also see that Technical Boy's latest incarnation seems to be retired. Did we lose another new god? Because media is now new media. Is Technical Boy again? Did he just get because Mr. World says he had to retire a god today, and it seems like something happened to Technical Boy. Like, he got kind of deleted after his first worshippers kind of forgotten about him because of something Mr. World gave him. It was both. It was. I want to say it wasn't clear. It just wasn't 100% clear. But I still enjoyed that element. I'm just curious to see where we go from here. Are we getting a different technical boy or a different god of technology after this point? I'll have to keep watching to find out. But yeah, that's all my thoughts about this episode of American Gods. Be sure to let me know in the comments below what you thought of this latest episode. Thanks again for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good one.